Guys, who's luckier than us? We got Chris Broussard joining the conversation. Good morning, Broussard. We got to talk to you about what's happening in Lakerland. They were back at practice yesterday. They had an 8-day layoff for the All-Star break. LeBron was there. LeBron's healthy. LeBron's rested. LeBron's healthy. Same can't be said for everyone on that team. Bron asked about the state of this roster with that trade deadline quickly approaching. Here's what he had to say. Listen.
I love what we have. And obviously we've had some injuries, with the big one being the big B-Day of my brother today in AD. That's the biggest injury. But, you know, from there on, you know, we've had some other, you know, things as well. But, you know, I believe when we're whole and we're full, we can compete with anyone in the world.
All right, Broussard, is LeBron right? Does the Laker team have enough to win a title, as is? Look at those shorts.
Jenna, I know Brandon Marshall wants me to jump all over the Lakers and go back to the Clippers and all that. But look, LeBron is right. LeBron should feel confident. I like the attitude because he knows, look, they're coming off a championship. They've got two of the best 5, 6 players in the world. They have the #1 defense in the league, and that's without their best defender, Anthony Davis, missing significant time. So LeBron should feel confident. I like that he's spreading that into the atmosphere, and his teammates should feed off of that. Anthony Davis said the other day, he and LeBron talk all the time. I'm sure LeBron is in his ear, like, not only we need you to rest up until you're 100% physically and you can come back because we're going to need you at the top of your game, but also mentally. He's got to be getting in AD's ear about his putting on his game face and bringing his A game. Because, look, the AD we saw over the first half of the season is not enough because AD was averaging 22 points a game. The Lakers are 18th in the league in offensive rating. That's not enough to beat Brooklyn. And let's keep it real. That's who we're talking about. We're not talking about the Clippers as good as they may be.
Either. Yes, we are.
Utah, Philadelphia. We are talking about the Brooklyn Nets, who are an offensive juggernaut, and they're going to need AD at the top of his game to beat them. The second thing is they need three-point shooting. And Wes Matthews not giving them the stroke that they thought he would. He's shooting 33% from three. He was a 38% career shooter. Dennis Schroeder shot, I think, 38% last year, down to 31% this year. They're 25th in the league in three-point shots, attempts, and percentage. So they got to get better from the three-point line as well. They've got enough, Jenna, but they should be scouring the trade market. Everybody's talking about Andre Drummond and LaMarcus Aldridge as bigs. But like I said, their defense is still #1 in the league without the rim protection of Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. They need shooting. Go get a J.J. Redick. Go get a Wayne Ellington from Detroit who's shooting 42% from three. They need to shore up themselves around the arc. And then, yeah, if you get an Aldridge or Drummond,
so then they don't have enough then. Too. So then they don't. The question is,
I'm just saying you always need to improve.
That the Lakers have enough to win. No,
he said compete with any team in the league. He said compete with anybody in the world. They should feel like they can beat anybody in the world. But yeah, you
don't want to talk.
Did the Nets feel like they had enough before they got Blake Griffin?
But that's not what Jenna asked us. That's not the question. That's not the question. Listen, you don't want to talk about the Clippers. I will talk about the Clippers. Forget the Nets. You got to earn that. You got to make your way to the title game for us to have that conversation. They don't have enough to beat the Suns. They don't have enough to beat the Clippers.
Oh, gosh.
You got Gasol, who's underwhelming. He's averaging, what, 5 points, less than 5 points? You got Markieff, who was a big part of your success last year, and he's averaging 5 points. AD, that is the X factor. So you can talk about the three-point and how terrible they are at the three right now. We can talk about rim protection, but the biggest X factor is AD. We keep saying, what if, what if, what if? This dude is dealing with a calf and an Achilles. And now he got to come back. He got to get into mid-season form. He has to get his feel back while knowing that he was playing underwhelming and terrible in the first half of the season. So this is a big What if, Nick, they won't get out the West because you got to go through the Suns and you have to go through the Clippers. I'm sorry, but this team has gone from the #1 spot. And when they go into the postseason, they will be at the 5th spot.
Just stop with
That's
the
what's
Suns.
going to happen.
We'll give you the Clippers. Stop with the Suns.
I'm telling you. All right. I'm right. All right.
Hold on. Just wait. I really wish Broussard wouldn't have, and I love Broussard. I wish Broussard wouldn't have talked over you so much at the end there, Brandon, because we were so close to having a perfect clip for mid-June when the Lakers win the West to go viral of Brandon Marshall saying they'll lose to the Suns, can't beat the Clippers, don't worry about the Jazz, but now it's going to be a little muddled.
And did I
so
mention
when we make our postseason compilations of the Nobody Believes in Us Lakers 2.0, that clip, Broussard might have saved you from being included in there. So here's the thing, America. I'm old enough to remember all the way back 2.5 months ago when the Lakers were the overwhelming favorites. And the only thing that's changed out West is they've become more of a favorite out West. Because the Jazz, you know who believes in the Jazz? Nobody. Not even the Jazz. That's why they're all in their feelings about being picked last in the All-Star. Like, damn, this could have been our moment, the All-Star game, because it certainly won't be our moment when we lose in round 2 in the playoffs. You know who believes in the Suns? Nobody. You know how I'll know someone believes in the Suns? And I love Chris Paul. Love him. Let's see if Robert Sarver makes a move at the deadline. Let's see if the Suns believe in themselves enough to say, you know what? Hey, DeAndre Ayton might be available for a star right now. Let's see if they try to go all in, since they've got a 36-year-old point guard, Devin Booker, a superstar, or if they know they can't win. And the Clippers, I don't know if you guys have been watching the Clippers. 2 things happen in Clipper games. They blow their opponent out, or they're in a close game and they faint and fall all over themselves down the stretch. What does that remind me of? Oh, wait, last year. So the West, they're actually better positioned for, and they have a better overall roster than last year. And Broussard can say this is all about the Nets. The Nets got to get there. The Nets do have to get there, and the Nets are going to have to get past Milwaukee, and they're going to have to get past Philly. And if they do get there, what you're going to have facing in front of you is a team with the second best center in basketball against a team who right now plays Jeff Green at center. So good luck with that. I'm excited to watch it happen. So yeah, the LeBron is right, and Wildes, as you know, if he didn't think the Lakers had enough, he would say it. He has historically said if he thought a team needed to make a move, he's not saying that. And so we know it's not just political, because he has said in the past if a team needs a playmaker or needs more, he's not saying it because he knows this is the best team in the NBA, Wildes.
Bring me Mozgov. I need a big guy. I want Mozgov.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Broussard.
Yeah.
I think that Nick, and maybe you, but I'm not sure, and Brandon's the only one. Me and Brandon, maybe we're just worried, or maybe we're just great athletes, are the only ones super worried about AD's Achilles. Like, if we were going to go play, whatever, tennis, Broussard, and be like, Broussard, yeah, I'll meet you on the court at noon. My Achilles is acting up, but, you know, I'll be fine. You'd be like, Wildes, no, buddy, just relax. I want you to be 100%. Right. Don't do anything. Speaking of Achilles, when we look at the buyout market, the person that we're looking at, he's actually released. What do you think about Boogie as far as, like, he's not getting a lot of attention? We've heard Whiteside, I heard Drummond, heard JaVale, but that's a weird machination to get him back to the Lakers. LaMarcus Aldridge will say, do you feel like Boogie should be an insurance policy since Marc Gasol is obviously not working out?
I'm suffering a little bit of brain fog from, I'm still reeling from Brandon saying the Suns are actually contenders to win the West. I'm sorry. Let me gather my senses together. Boogie Cousins, no. Boogie Cousins, no. I wouldn't even bring it, unless you just want to have him in the locker room.
Tucker's
He's a good guy. He got along with LeBron, all that. PJ Tucker would help. Andre Drummond would help. Hassan Whiteside obviously brings rim protection, you know, and some defense. But like I said, their defense is fine. What they need is better shooting at the three-point arc. I'm not saying don't get a big. LaMarcus Aldridge is interesting because for his career, he's been known as a great mid-range shooter, and that's what he still is. But he's extended his range to the three-point line, shooting 36% from there this year, and he's actually putting up about 4 a game. So I think Aldridge could help them. And if I'm LaMarcus Aldridge, I'm actually looking at the Lakers. I mean, above everybody else. I assume he wants to win a championship. It's not about going somewhere and putting up numbers, so that could be something for the Lakers. But I'm out on Boogie. He's not going to be a game changer anymore.
Brutal.
Jenna, when I took broadcasting boot camp, okay, the NFL provides this service for current athletes, current football players, to actually learn about broadcasting. And the first thing they teach you is answer the question. And the question is LeBron right that the Lakers have enough to win a title? LeBron said they do. Everybody else is up here, well, you know, I got Chris up here talking about, well, they need to add Aldridge. Go get J.J. Redick. They need to shoot. So here's the answer. Look, they aren't good enough, guys. Even if AD comes back, he needs to first get in shape, and then he needs to be better than what he was. The guys that you have on that team, they're underwhelming. They're not playing well. Gasol, Markieff Morris. Like, Dennis is giving you 15, but is that enough to beat the Suns, Chris? Is that enough to beat the Clippers? I don't think it is, man. And then you're talking about going against the Nets. No chance.
They've got, okay, because first of all, it is because they have LeBron James. Second of all, luckily for them, the playoffs start in 3 months. So I think Anthony Davis is going to be back. But we don't have enough time to deep dive into this. But just a little thought exercise for my fellow panelists and for the audience to marinate on. Let's think about the teams that Vegas says are the 4 most likely to win the title. The Lakers, the Nets, the Sixers, and the Clippers. And let's think about the injury concerns for all 4 of those teams. The Lakers' second best player, Anthony Davis, is out with an injury. The Nets' best player, Kevin Durant, has played 20 games in 675 days and is still dealing with a hamstring. The Sixers' best player, Joel Embiid, has never played a full season. And the Clippers' best player, Kawhi Leonard, has not finished a year looking fully healthy in 5 years. So the thought exercise is this. If we're going to play the injury game, which is the team of that list most likely to be impacted by an injury come the postseason or a player not being 100%, and which is the team least likely? Because I would posit the team least likely is the Lakers, and the team most likely is Brandon's beloved Nets, with the Clippers and the Sixers slotted in between. Maybe I'm wrong, but we can't just say AD's dealing with an Achilles.
Can I quickly respond to that? Okay, AD, second best player on the Lakers. He's injured. He's out. What happens? They start trending in the wrong direction. They're losing. They lose 4 games in a row before the All-Star break or whatever it was, or maybe snuck in a win right before the All-Star break.
That's right.
And then you go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, no Kevin Durant. And what happens? They go on an 8-9 game winning streak. They're the hottest team outside of the Suns in the NBA. So maybe there is something to this Nets thing. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they don't need
Broussard.
Kevin Durant, third option.
Broussard,
Third banana.
the Suns, buddy. We got to take a break.
Stop, Jenna.
We have some breaking football news on the other side about Cam Newton. We're all gonna
Let's
say
go.
words. We're back right after this.
We're back. Where's the